Folks, it is that time for WPF Week 6, where we're taking on Bruno 7, coach of the Chernobyl Dragalges. He's a very talented coach and a former member of COG, which is like one of the Gen 8 Super Leagues, so I'm super excited to face off against him this week. He's a very scary team led by Omniterra Torn T, so we're going to have to do a lot to be able to shut down this offense and a lot of bulk. Palafin is going to be our first mon, and I feel like Choice Scarf is an item that I have not used on Palafin pretty much ever in any draft I've drafted Palafin, but it's a very interesting item here. I feel like just being able to bait in something like the Slowbro and also having the chance to outspeed everything in the end game is very, very nice. We're going to have a lot of things to be able to take on Slowbro or maybe the Rotom-Mow or potentially the Hydreigon. So I really like just being able to flip turn around, but we also have some moves in Wave Crash and Liquidation just to be able to handle the rest, and CC of course for that Hydreigon. Landorus is going to be a little funky this week, but I feel like this set is going to work out considering that I really like Stealth Rocks in this game, especially if the Torn T has the ability to Terra. I feel like it's not going to really run Boots, and we have some generic coverage for pretty much everything else. Psychic should be able to take on a lot of stuff, and that Klefki certainly isn't coming in, so not having Earth Power isn't really going to be that big of a deal. We have Brick Break in case they bring screens, and there's also Brick Break for the Hydreigon, and then we have Grass Knot finally for the Slowbro. The way that I've been using this mon, I feel like I've been getting damage and then just dying. You know, I don't really get a lot of kills with it, I don't really break with it, but it's super threatening as a mon, just regardless of the set. And so I'm down just to bring rocks, get them up, and potentially wear stuff down over the course of the match, especially with the team as bulky as it is. Mew is going to be up next with a very interesting lead set potentially. I'm really hoping that he brings Glim or maybe the Klefki and just leads off with that so I can get up a sub and a Calm Mind and start going to town from there. If I am at +1 or +2 behind a sub, I can basically win. So if he really mishandles that early game, I could potentially take advantage of that with Mew and just get a massive win right off the bat. Dragonite was kind of a piece of shit last game, but this game it's kind of going to do the same thing, except we swapped a couple things around. It's going to be physically defensive and specially offensive as opposed to specially defensive and physically offensive. I really like the special coverage here into a lot of the mons on Bruno's team. And then I also like being able to take hits from the Ursaluna, wear it down with a Rocky Helmet, and then potentially, you know, also have a Flame Orb, wear it down as well. And then from there, you know, we can have anything pick it off. Palafin, Lando, Mew, Electrode, Kingambit. They all probably outspeed the Ursaluna, and they could probably all take them out at, you know, 30 or 40%. And so that's kind of Dragonite's job, is just to get the first 60% of that Ursaluna down. Kingambit is going to be our next mon, and it's going to be Terra Dark this time. I really like Terra Dark Kowtow Cleave into the whole team, barring that Paladin and Tauros, which can potentially intimidate us, but we could also potentially have Defiant. There's kind of a mind game there. I'm not really going to think about it. I'm just going to go Supreme Overlord, get a boost anyways, and just go to town from there. Kowtow Cleave looks super nice. I could set up on a bunch of the passive stuff, and I can really take care of any misplays that Bruno might have. And so being able to just have this thing in the end game looks really, really threatening. Electrode Hisui is going to be our last mon for this team, and I really like it just being able to naturally outpace everything and potentially get a T-Wave off. It can also handle some of those bulkier threats, something like a Rotom-Mow, something like a Slowbro of course, and maybe a Klefki as well. Just being able to get up a sub, maybe T-Wave some of the faster things, and get some chip off with Thunderbolt and Giga Drain. With that being said, let's get on into the match. Hey, we're fighting off against Bruno. Pretty interesting team. No Glamora, no Klefki. Wow, so this guy's kind of shit. It is what it is, though. Looks like there's a couple different things we can set up on. Miss Maggie's is pretty interesting. I think from here, I'm just gonna go hard into Sidon. I feel like I got a couple different things that could potentially work. The Lando doesn't look half bad either. We'll go with this. Why not? Good luck, have fun. To Bruno. Let's see how this goes. This is actually the first time that we've played. So, yeah, interested to see what happens. I'm guessing he starts off with the Hydreigon, Minerva. That is not the Hydreigon, but that's okay. This Maggie's was something I didn't necessarily calc for or take into account. But it's a pretty interesting Pokemon. I feel like Ganon's not the switch in. I kind of just want to Wave Crash. I'm not going to lie. I kind of just want to Wave Crash. That kind of looks sick. Fuck it, let's do it. Yeah, let's wave crash. I don't care. Let's get a ton of damage off on this thing. If you T-bolt me, Shadow Ball, okay. It's specs. It's specs. I've determined. Interesting play. Okay, so I really could have just gone out into the whole fucking thing. I'm gonna sub up here as you potentially go Ursaluna. You could go into a bunch of different things. I think sub here looks really, really nice. So I will just do that. You withdraw. Nice. Who are you gonna go out into? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It is the Hydreigon though. So that looks pretty interesting. That's super interesting. So that was Specs Mismagius into my guy. That's super interesting because that's it's gotta be some weird ass roll in that case. Thunderwave comes out, which means we get to do a lot to this thing with some other mons, which is really, really nice. You can't move, which is cool. If you want to get up like a certain move or whatever, I guess it would be like Flamethrower, if not U-turn with like Specs or something like that. I'm down just a T-Bolt, scout for damage potentially. Looks like it did like about 10. Dark Pulse comes out, probably gets a fair amount of damage off. This looks pretty bulky, to say the least. I'm guessing you're gonna get lefties off too. You don't. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. I might want to get rocks up, to be honest, with this, because he doesn't really have any way of getting rid of them. The team looks like it's overall pretty weak to a couple different things. If I can get like a Calm Mind up with that Mew, I could potentially clean up as long as I get a little bit of chip on the Ursaluna. So I feel like what I want to do is just go out into you. If you're like modest specs, you shouldn't kill me. Emphasis on shouldn't. Flamethrower comes out. Okay. Definitely looks modest. For sure. The question is, what would I even take this out with in the back? It would probably have to be this Dragonite. Because if Flamethrower does that much to me, I kind of just want to get up a nice Brick Break. Because Dark Pulse should be dealing that, but your mod is probably... No, I'm just going to get up rocks. I'm just going to get rocks up. Nice! Okay, that's big. That's actually really, really big. Bruh, I don't know. Oh, it's slow, bro. See, here's the thing. Is that with something like rocks up, that could be potentially very, very useful. And I feel like this guy's job is damn near done. So, I mean, this can clean up. I feel like just getting a nice grass knot just looks awesome here. So I'm gonna do exactly that. It looks like AV damage damn near. Surf comes out and it should get the kill on me, which is fine. So this actually invites Mew, which is really, really nice. Yeah, and so from here I actually get to sub up, which is really big. Getting a sub up is super, super nice here. Just being able to get some good chip on something, that's gonna be really big. You got onto Mount-A. That's going to be the Ursaluna. That's fine. We get to see the kind of damage that's going to come off on this. So you're going to take some damage, which is really, really big for us. And from here, I think I just want to click Draining Kiss, to be honest. Click Draining Kiss, get back up to damn near full. And then from there, I can switch out into that Dragonite. It's not going to do a lot. It's definitely not going to do a lot. But just being able to whittle this thing down for this month specifically in the back looks super, super good. The one thing I do have to worry about is that Mismagius. But other than that, I feel like even a Mon down, this game looks pretty darn okay. We have this Mon in the back to take advantage of stuff. And now we've kind of scouted a lot. There's a Torn in the back. There's a couple other things. But it's really not that big of a deal. You're going to get hurt, and you're basically in range of +2 just about, which is really, really big for us. From here, I'm just going to click Roost. I don't really have to do much. If the Slowbro wants to come in, it could come in. You're just going to get chipped down, which is really nice for us. Avalanche, that's interesting. Yeah, that's not going to do a lot to us. Yeah, so we're basically 1v1ing an Ursaluna, one of the strongest monsters in the game, with Avalanche, no less. And we get to just take this thing out straight up, which is super awesome. Yawn. Yawn's pretty interesting. The question is, what else do I need on this? I'm not sure what else I need to do. I feel like just being able to fire off a Dragon Pulse looks really, really nice. So I think I'll do that. Buckbeak comes out. Let's see. Let's see what happens with this. We have a whole ass Electro that we can go into, which I really, really like. We can Thunder Wave it, and we can put it in range of some other stuff. I'm honestly okay just going for stuff here. But, I mean, let's see. I think I'm just going to click Thunderbolt here. At the end of the day, yeah, there's not a whole lot that I need this for in particular. So I think just being able to click Thunderbolt would be nice. I wonder if he's going to Terra. Icy Wind comes out. That's fine. Is there anything else I want to do with this? Probably not, to be honest. The question is, how much is this Miss Maggie's going to do to my Mew if it's specs? This actually might be the time, in that case, just to be able to go into this. Actually, you know what? Let's go into this, and let's force something interesting. We have burned 1 turn of sleep. We might be able to do something with that mod. And just being able to pressure this is going to be pretty interesting. You Terra. So is this going to be flying? Is this going to be fighting? Is this going to be, you know, like, what's this going to do? Grass. That's pretty interesting. Bleak Windstorm was out. So that did not a whole lot. We do have a couple mons down. I kind of just want to terrestrialize and click Kowtow Cleave. We can see what he goes for here. I feel like it's not going to be that big of a deal, though. And if we can get the Mew in on the Tauros, we can set up from there and start claiming lives. So I feel like just Kowtow Cleave looks pretty cool here. Let's do it. You can withdraw, that's okay. Festus. And let's just calc for this damage here. We get some rocks chip off, which I think is really, really nice for us. I don't think it intimidated us either, which is really nice. I could be wrong. Okay, so that did roughly, what, like 30 or something like that? With a Kingambit, with 2 allies down. Yeah, it looks like it's not super defensive, which is pretty interesting. You know, I'm going to go into this. I'm just going to go into this. This is the only way that I think this Mew's going to work, as it turns out. Because I think this is going to be a bulk upset. Wisp. Misses. Okay, that's actually really big for us. That's really, really big. So I get some really nice damage off on something here with a Draining Kiss. We also know it's not Rocky Helmet, which is nice. Draining Kiss isn't going to do a lot to this, but it'll do enough to a lot of the mons in the back. So I'm totally fine just clicking this, to be honest. You withdraw. If you sack off something like a Hydreigon, if you sack off something... If you go into Torn, that's okay too. That's fine. Calm Mind could have been the play. But that's fine. From here, I'll just click Calm Mind. Let's see what this thing does. If you in a U-turn, that's okay. Bleak Windstorm comes out. See, that's not going to do a whole lot to us, which is really nice. Calm Mind comes out, which is super big for us. I feel like we're pretty free to sub from here, which is super big. So I'm just going to opt to get up a substitute. You want a Nasty Plot? That I don't think is the biggest deal. I don't think that's the biggest deal in the world. We're at +1. And this Torn's at 2. Hurricane's going to be dealing a lot to us. But we can just opt to click Stored Power. That should work. Bleak Windstorm comes out. So let's see how much this does. This is Modest, for instance, which it definitely could be. It's going to do 199, which we should go past. And so from here, he kind of has to make a choice as to whether or not he wants to sacrifice this off or something else, potentially. I'm just going to go for a Stored Power here. Bleak Windstorm. 68. Barely lives on. But now it's in range of some pretty nice stuff. So, honestly, that's not the worst in the world. I think what I'll do is I'll sack this off. Yeah, I'll sack this off. This is fine. I'll go into the other guy. The Electrode. We can get some chip off there. Bleak Windstorm comes out. That is going to take us out. But I feel like we have a little bit of counterplay in that Kingambit in the back. And then from here, we might have to make a play. But that's okay. I'm actually going to go into the Mew here. Yeah, I feel like this is a pretty solid play. You'll probably go Hydreigon, if I had to guess. You withdraw. Nice. That's really big for us. That's really, really big for us. You go into the Hydreigon. That's super big. And from here, we get a ton of healing. So much healing. This is going to be really, really massive. And I feel like from here, we can potentially just win. We're going to get a ton of healing back, or they're going to go into the Tauros, which gets chipped for us, or they sack them Smagius off, which means that we can really do a lot with this Mon, or they sack off this, which means we get a ton of health, or they go Slowbro, which means we could set up. So I think there's a lot that's going on for us here that I really, really like. We also have the Electrode as a sack against the Smagius, which is pretty big. I feel like he's on the back foot. I feel like he's definitely on the back foot. So from here, the question then becomes versus the Tauros, versus the Blaze Tauros, which it looks like it took definitely more than expected. This looks like a pretty offensive Tauros, I'm not going to lie. Draining Kiss comes out. That's super big for us. That's really nice. From here, I feel like I just want to get off another Draining Kiss. You could Bleak Wind Storm, but at the end of the day, how much is that going to affect the outcome? Here's the thing. I think that Miss Maggie's is going to have Trick. I think that's the one thing that's really stopping us from winning here. Because if I'm at like 5 allies fainted, Terra Dark, you know, Sucker Punch looks like it damn near kills the Tauros. So I really have to figure out how I want to approach this end game. I think I'm going to Draining Kiss here as you Bleak Wind Storm. Hitting's kind of crazy. 3 times in a row. Or 4 times in a row. Or whatever it is. But that's okay. So we have a couple sacks in the back. You have to be Specs Miss Magius. That's the big thing. Is that if you're Specs Miss Magius, then you have to make a switch at some point. And especially with the amount of health that you have, you don't have a lot of options to be able to switch. Minerva. So that's the Miss Magius. Yeah, so this is your last switch in right here. I feel like I kind of want to keep this Mon in the back. Get a ton of health off on something. If you are Specs versus my Electrode, do you kill? You don't. So I'm just going to do that. It basically has to do something that it doesn't really want to do, which I think is very, very nice for us. Use Dazzling Gleam. So that's not going to kill. Nope. Okay, that's super big. So at this point, you don't have really another option. I feel like we definitely have some outs, though. We have Kingambit in the back, and with Kingambit, especially Terrasilize as it is, we definitely have the potential to win. Giga Drain comes off. That's really big for us. That's really big. So now at this point, the thing that stands between Electra and potentially winning is the Hydreigon. But if we weaken that, then that means that Mew can go crazy as well. So I actually really like our odds here. So there's Paldean Tauros in the back, right? There's Hydreigon, and there's Slowbro. Those are all the mons we got to get through, and then we can win. So if anything, I feel like I just want to T-Bolt here, get some damage off, and then I always have that Mew that I can go into and get some big recovery. I'm going to do that. T-Bolt comes out. We do some good damage. Dark Pulse comes off, and this should kill us. And from here, we're going to get some big health with Mew, which I am a massive fan of. So let's do this. Draining Kiss comes off. That did nothing! Hello? That did jack shit! Dark Pulse comes off. Well, that's going to kill us then. Alright, so it all comes down to this. It comes down to Kingambit in that case. That did nothing. Holy shit. That's insane. That's genuinely crazy. Did they get like a Reflect Up or something like that? So this has to be like AV, like max HP AV or something like that. This is probably the best time to get an SD up. So I think I'm just going to do that. And from there, I should be able to clean. Emphasis on should. We'll see. That's really big. That's really, really big for us. I'm just gonna Kowtow Cleave. I'm gonna Kowtow Cleave. Because I'm looking at the CC damage right now, and that could potentially, like, bop us. That could be pretty big. And here's the thing. Our Sucker Punch damage, if we are Terra Dark, is doing 50. So that's something he has to respect. We're going to get back up to full, and his Paldean Tauros, it could kill us. It might just kill us. Hephaestus comes out. I'm going to click Zen Headbutt here. Yeah, this is what I was worried about. So I'm going to click Zen because the CC looks super prominent here. If he Will-O-Wisps us, then we will be able to still tank a hit. If you have Body Press, it does a lot, but it's not going to do enough. We are Terra Dark, 5 allies versus the Slowbro. If we are burned, we should be doing a ton to this thing. So that's the reason why I didn't get a second SD up, was because if that Hydreigon Draco Meteored on us, we were kind of fucked. So this Slowbro is going to come out, and I feel like we kind of just have to hope and pray that this is going to do it. Which is unfortunate, but judging by the damage that the one of these mons did to the Slowbro, I mean, who knows? We kill it. Okay, we kill it, and we might actually get the win. We beat him. Holy shit. I thought there was an Ursaluna in the back. Bro, this is why I need a fucking battle helper. Man. Well, we did it. GG's to Bruno. I feel like I'm like prepping for like 12 mons, and I bring like all my goddamn sets, and then I play like 12 mons exist, when that's just not the case. But oh my god, we won. We're back. We're 3-3. That's crazy. After the 0-3 start, we are back on the fucking board, people. We get that dub, and I'm actually looking at the standings right now. It looks like we are going to slide into 10th place. 9th place. We're going to slide into 9th place. We're 3-3. We're with the other 3-3s. So all it comes down to is getting the rest of these wins. That is good. That's actually insane. That's fucking crazy. GG's again to Bruno. I mocked for this a couple times, and that game seemed pretty difficult from his standpoint. Kingambit went crazy. I felt like Landorus and Palafin didn't do a lot, but like Electrode could clean up really well, and the Mew that we had could just rip. So I think that's just like maybe a team thing that Bruno has, but he's a very talented coach. He's 1-4, 1-5 now, but super, super talented still, you know, former COG player. So I'm expecting him to bounce back. He's been doing really well in a lot of these other tournaments. So with that being said, guys, holy shit, feels good. I'm gonna go celebrate my birthday. So I'll do that. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.